you usually do, and I'll be listening.
Actually, I did, and I exercised, and I played some, boxing. You know, there, boxing is very famous, famous exercise for the real man. So I was really into playing boxing, and actually, I can't. I was able to keep my shape with
Great.
boxing. So yeah, I'm really into playing boxing.
Absolutely got it. So let me gently tweak that a bit. Instead of saying I played some boxing, we'd usually say I did some boxing or I practiced boxing, just because we don't really use play for boxing. And instead of real men, you could just say it's a pretty popular exercise to keep it nice and simple. Now, here's the next question for you. What do you enjoy most about boxing? Tell me that, and I'm all ears.
As I told you, I was able to keep my shape with doing boxing, and actually, since I was freshman in my past company, I mean LG Electronics, so um, I've been working for LG Electronics over 4 years, but and I was able to lose my weight about um, 20 kilograms. So I love boxing, and I'm a big fan of boxing. And I went to LAX. I came across um, no some who was it? Who was that? Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, I bumped into him at LAX. So yeah, it was very fascinating.
Nicely done. Let me sprinkle a bit of linguistic fairy dust on that. So first, instead of saying with doing boxing, you could just say by doing boxing. And we can simplify a little. Since I was a freshman at my previous company, I've actually worked at LG Electronics for over 4 years. Thanks to that, I lost about 20 kilograms through boxing, so I really love it. And that story about bumping into Manny Pacquiao at LAX is awesome. Just say, I ran into Manny Pacquiao at the airport once, and that was pretty fascinating. So you did great, and here's my next question for you. How do you feel after a good boxing session? Let's hear it.
Um, After a good boxing session, I can you know I can take a shower at the boxing team, and it always reminds me of some very fresh situation. And um, to be honest, I gotta say, um, after the year, I can really I can be learned by some boxing session, because yeah, I gotta change, and as time goes by, I gotta change my attitude for boxing. But I was very stable, because it's changing some my attitude and learning something new. It was very picky for me. So yeah, I'm very regret for that. But yeah, I couldn't help avoiding that situation, because as as I get as I'm getting used to doing my stops in my company and my office, they're always they required me to do more and more some stops. So I couldn't I couldn't make more times for doing boxing in my free time. So that's the reason why.
All right, let's untangle that tapestry of thoughts a bit. So you can simplify it this way. After a boxing session, you often take a shower at the gym, and it just feels refreshing. And you wanted to say that over time, as you got busier at work, it got harder to find time for boxing. You can say it was tough to keep it up because my company kept giving me more tasks, so I had less free time for boxing. And that's absolutely understandable. So great job expressing all that. Here's the next little question for you. If you could try any new sport or exercise in the future, what would you want to try? Tell me about it.
Um, I'm not sure about that. I've never thought about that. Possibly soccer, because I've never learned, I've never studied some how to play, how I can play, how I have to play soccer as a player. I mean, as a defender, or as an offenser, or as a midfielder. I don't know how do I have to play, depending on the position. So yeah, I wanna be taught soccer.
That sounds like a fun idea. Let's polish that up a bit. You can say, I've never really learned how to play soccer, so I think it'd be interesting. I don't know much about playing different positions like defense or midfield, and I'd love to be taught how to play. So that's perfect. And it's awesome to think about picking up a new sport. Now, to wrap up our little chat, what did you realize today from talking about exercise? Just share that in English and we'll call it a day.
No. I don't wanna finish my hour chat. We gotta stick together now because this is our first time hanging out each other. So do not wake up and do not call it a day. So the reason why I choose the topic as an exercise is just talking to you and just hang out with I want to hang out with you. So there's no reason.
Well, that's a plot twist I'm happy to hear. So we'll keep the conversational lantern lit a bit longer. It's always fun to stretch out a chat just for the sake of it. After all, sometimes the best reason to talk is just because it's nice to hang out. So let's just keep rolling like a pair of conversational tumbleweeds. If you've got any other little topic you want to toss in, go right ahead. Let's just enjoy the ride.
How about traditional sports in the UK? Do you know anything about some traditional sports in the UK? Something like cricket or football and something like polo and something like that.
Oh, absolutely. The UK is like a treasure chest of traditional sports, each with its own quirky charm. Cricket is definitely one of those quintessentially British things. Long matches, tea breaks and all. And of course, football is practically the national heartbeat. But you've also got things like rugby and indeed polo, which feels like a sport straight out of a period drama, horses and all. So there's a whole garden of traditional pastimes, and each one's got its own little cultural flavour. If any of those catch your fancy, just say the word.
I want to talk about Indeed. What is Indeed?
Ah, indeed. The humble little word that's like a nod of agreement in a fancy hat. It's basically a way of saying, that's right, or absolutely in a slightly posh way. Imagine it as a Victorian gentleman tipping his hat and saying, yes, quite so. So if you want to sprinkle a bit of elegance into a conversation, indeed is your go-to word. And now that we've cracked that linguistic nut, feel free to toss me another.
And I want to know about rugby. The sports name rugby is made in the some special particular high school in the UK, where some very some people who have some benefits, they yeah, yeah, most of the graduates from the some how can I say 귀족 or 왕족. So yeah, as far as I knew. So I want to know about rugby and what's the difference from the American rugby, American football. I don't know exactly. So yeah, can you tell me about that?
Absolutely. Let's unwrap that little historical parcel. So rugby indeed gets its name from Rugby School, which is a famous old school in England. Legend has it that one day a student just decided to pick up the ball and run with it during a football game. And voila, rugby was born. It started off as a game played in these elite schools, so yet it had a kind of aristocratic flair in its early days. As for the difference between rugby and American football, well, think of rugby as American football's older, slightly rough and tumble cousin. Rugby players don't wear the heavy pads and helmets that American football players do, and the game has a continuous flow with fewer stops. It's a bit like a non-stop hearty brawl compared to American football's more strategic pauses. So that's the gist of it. If you want to dive deeper into any of these sporty tales, just let me know.
Yeah. Anyway, do you have something curious about me? Please ask me.
Oh, absolutely. I always love a little curiosity ping pong. Since we've been chatting about sports and your plans for English practice, I'll be curious to know, is there something you're looking forward to the most about heading to the UK? Maybe a particular experience or something you just can't wait to dive into once you're there? Spill the beans.
I want to see and I want to watch some football match against Manchester City. As you know, by the time the next season is coming, I'm gonna have been there in University of Manchester. So there is kind of close to my company, from my campus to the stadium of Manchester City. So I'm gonna really be into the football match, and I'm gonna go and hang out with my friends from same university or same major. So yeah, I'm really into the match, especially against Manchester City.
Oh, that sounds like an absolute blast. I can already picture you in the stands, maybe with a scarf and a bit of that stadium buzz in the air. There's definitely something magical about watching a big match live, especially if it's a Manchester City game right in their home stadium. And doing that with friends from your university, mwah, chef's kiss. It's like blending a bit of sport, a bit of camaraderie, and a dash of that UK adventure all in one go. So yeah, I can totally see why that's on your must-do list. If there's anything else you're itching to share, you know I'm here to chat away.
좀 조금만 느리게 해줘 말을. 말이 너무 빨라.
Of course, I can slow it down a bit. We'll just take it nice and easy, like a slow stroll through a friendly conversation park. Is there anything else you want to ask, or if you just want to keep going at this more relaxed pace, just let me know.
Yeah. I always and I've been very curious about some how 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 much it is for some just seeing just single match. Some I want to know about that. As far as I knew, it depends on some team. I mean, team that Manchester City is against. So I want to know about some price and cost about that.
Absolutely, let's slow it down and chat about that. So yeah, ticket prices can definitely do a little dance depending on who Manchester City's playing against. If it's a big rival or a top tier match, the tickets might be a bit pricier. But for a regular match, you can often find something more affordable. It's kind of like choosing seats at a theatre. The closer or the bigger the game, the more it might cost. But hey, that's all part of the fun of planning the adventure, right? And we can definitely look up some specifics when you get closer to your trip.
Which team takes the best cost in general? So, from what I heard, it should be Manchester United, isn't it?
You've got a good nose for football economics. In general, yeah, Manchester United games can often be on the pricier side just because of the club's global popularity and the history behind them. They've got this kind of legendary status, so tickets to their matches can sometimes be a bit of a golden ticket. But of course, it all depends on the fixture and the demand. So we're spot on. United's matches can be a bit of a premium experience, but hey, that's all part of the fun of exploring the football scene.
Okay. I think that we should call it a day now.
Absolutely. Let's wrap it up like a cozy conversation burrito. It's been a blast chatting and taking it easy together. Whenever you want to dive back in, just give me a shout. Until then, we'll call it a day and you have a good one.
You too. Have a good one.
You too. And hey, just remember, we've always got more conversations waiting whenever you're ready to jump back in. Until then, take it easy and enjoy your day.